Hey guys, welcome to Political Fight Club. I'm your host Robert Durden, and this episode is further investigating what's going on in Israel-Palestine. So the report that came out yesterday, and I'm going to read to you the exact quote from our Secretary of State, Anthony Blinken. Israel had told us that the reason that they leveled the Al Jazeera and AP building, which was a 12-story building that was housing a bunch of journalists a couple of days ago, was because there was Hamas there. And I told you on the show, I was like, I didn't see any evidence that there was Hamas. Where are you guys, what are you talking about? What evidence? So, as it turns out, Tony Blinken, our Secretary of State, came out yesterday and he's like, yeah, they haven't given us any evidence for the reason that they blew up that building. I filed this under duh, as Kalinsky would say, because it's like they obviously were just blowing up the building because they don't want press to do journalism on all the atrocities that they're doing right now. So it seems pretty obvious that they're going to just try to do a media blackout, and this is just the first step. And of course they're not going to give you evidence for a lot of the things they're doing. You think they're going to give evidence for why they blew up that road going to Al-Shifa Hospital yesterday? You blow up a road going to a hospital, and you're going to say, what? There were Hamas on that road, underneath the road? Anyway, so I'm going to read to you exactly what Tony Blinken said, and then I'm going to extrapolate just a little bit further, okay? So this is according to Axios. U.S. Secretary of State Anthony Blinken said Monday that he had not personally seen evidence that Hamas was operating in a building that housed offices for Al Jazeera and the Associated Press and other media in the Gaza Strip, as the Israeli government has claimed. Quote, the secretary was referring only to what he has personally seen, as he made clear any such information would be provided to others in the administration, not directly to the Secretary of State. A secretary or a senior State Department official told Axios, but why it matters. Israel has said that the presence of a Hamas military intelligence office justified an airstrike that destroyed the 12-story building on Saturday. Israeli Prime Minister Benjamin Netanyahu told CBS News on Face the Nation Sunday that Israeli intelligence had shared proof with the U.S. Quote, shortly after the strike, we did request additional details regarding the justification for it, Blinken said at a press conference in Denmark Monday, later adding that he has, quote, not seen any information provided. Blinken said he will, quote, leave it up to the others to characterize if any information has been shared in our assessment of that information. So, I don't think they're going to actually have any evidence that there was Hamas there. Certainly Blinken would be one of the first people to be alerted of such information. What is really happening here, guys, is that Israel is bombing places like this, which is a war crime, and they're not even trying to come up with an excuse for it. They're just brazenly doing it in daylight. And ask yourself, why would a country commit war crimes in broad daylight? It's because they know that they've got Joe Biden in their pocket, and the U.S. ain't going to do diddly on it. They're going to have the U.S.'s, or the U.S. is going to have their back no matter what they do, and they're not going to get condemned, and they're not going to get cut off from their money. As we know, Joe Biden gave them $735 million yesterday, Israel, and has repeatedly blocked attempts of the UN to go after a ceasefire. So you know that they're not going to get in trouble by the U.S. And they know it too. So they can get away with whatever they want, which is why you have to call out the people in the Biden administration that are not calling this what it is. They are actively helping genocide. And up until yesterday, I would have said they're, at worst just indifferent because they're not condemning Israel or Palestine. And that was kind of how it was until yesterday. But now we're finding out that we're actively giving Israel money. So it's far worse than indifference. It's malicious intent, and they are on the side of people committing ethnic cleansing in an apartheid state. Just call it for what it is. So they're not going to find any evidence for the reason they blew up that building because there is none. There was no Hamas there. The reporters that worked there for over the last decade were saying that, no, we've never seen any Hamas in the building. And, another couple of media outlets, I think one was called Middle East Eye, are basically eviscerated now. They're gone. Like, that was all they had. Some of these other ones, the big ones like the AP, will probably be able to set up in other areas of Gaza. But, I mean, seems obvious, guys. They're blowing up a media building because they don't want coverage on the atrocities that they're committing. Full stop. They don't have any evidence. If they had any evidence that Hamas was there, they would have given it to us. They would have given it to Secretary Blinken, but they don't. And they're not going to in the future. They're just going to continue to do, human rights violations and violate international law in broad daylight because we enable it. If they didn't have our backing, they would not be able to get away with this. But because they know that Big Brother is going to keep giving them money and not call them out for what they're doing and not sanction them, they can get away with whatever the fuck they want. So blood is on Joe Biden's hands. And anybody that works with Joe Biden, blood is on their hands. There have been over 200 Palestinians killed, including 58 children as of yesterday. I'll update you guys on the numbers either later today or tomorrow. But it seems to me that this is evidence here. The fact that they said that there was Hamas in this building, and now a couple of days later still nothing has been given in terms of the evidence that they had that there was Hamas there. It's because they don't have it, and it seems to indicate that they're just going to basically wantonly do whatever they want, commit whatever atrocities they want in broad daylight because they know the U.S. isn't going to care either way. So, very sad state of affairs, guys. Keep fighting the good fight out there. I'll see you later.